What's up, fellas? Today we're going to learn how to bench test a digital boost gauge. This one in particular is a knockoff of an AEM X. I'll put the picture of what that looks like on the screen right now. This gauge is like $300, and this one in front of you was only $30. Now, how are they able to do this? How are Chinese companies able to make a one-of-one copy of things? They didn't take the item and then like reverse engineer it. These companies like AEM and Apple iPhone, it's all made in China. So what these Chinese people do is illegally take the technology. You know, they're in charge of the factory, so they're making this part. They're making an AEM gauge, and they're like, we could just make the same gauge and then put our logo on it or our name. And it's usually some dumb name like this, JJ Coco, which is completely stupid. But that's how Chinese companies are able to steal and make things for stupid cheap. It's illegal on their end. They could lose their, business license or their contract with the American company, whoever. But who's gonna hold the law? You know what I mean? Who's gonna say, or who's gonna actually do the arresting or any of that stuff? No, it's probably never gonna happen. So today we are bench testing this knockoff AEM X thin boost gauge. It is a complete, exact one-of-one copy of that gauge. You need a few things. You're gonna need a small battery like this. You can get one from Walmart for like 15 bucks. I highly recommend getting these gator clip wires right here. Don't be fumbling around with wires that don't have the gator ends, sitting there getting frustrated, the wires falling off, you're twisting them, they're touching. Just do yourself a favor and get these gator clip wires. You also need a vacuum line to test the boost gauge, and you're going to need an air compressor. You need an air compressor with this attachment right here. Okay? Now, the first thing you want to do is hook up your power, hook up your ground with the gator clips on this end. Watch this. Plug that in. Okay, we're good. Now, go fill your air compressor up and come back to me. But what you want to do is set the output to a certain PSI. So this one doesn't tell you exactly what it is. I just put it right in the center between 0 and 40. And, I'm hoping to be around 20 something PSI. I mean, we're going to find out together. So you got your gauge hooked up to your battery. And now this will be your boost source. And what we're going to do is just put that in there and squeeze the trigger. Squeeze the trigger, and what are we getting? 25 PSI. See that? 25.8 PSI. Perfect. So this, I'd say this is a pretty accurate gauge. It sucks that I don't have specific PSI numbers on between each line on that compressor, but for 30 bucks, based off what I have, it looks legit. I mean, you want to pay $300 or you want to pay $30? So if you're a DIY kind of guy like me, and you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, get yourself a little battery, some leads with gator end clips, and you just saw 30 bucks. Ooh. Plug this in here, squeeze the trigger. 25.8, 25.7. And that's how you bench test a digital boost gauge. So, good luck with your project and have fun.